Spider-Man 3 for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance is one of 4 separate games with the same title, which are all based on the 2007 film of the same name. The game was released alongside every other version of this game on May 4th, and this game has almost nothing to do with the film it's supposedly based on. It was published by Activision and developed by Vicarious Visions while they worked on 2 other versions of this game. Now I have one question. Why were we still getting GBA ports in 2007? The Advance's successor, the DS, had been out since 2004, so I can get why 2004 and 2005 games were still getting ports. But in 2007? Activision was still supporting the system with their last 2 games, Spider-Man 3 and Puppy Love Spa and Resort? Well, I guess there's one good thing to come from this. I can admit that Spider-Man 3 is better on Game Boy Advance than the DS version, which I may review later down the road. Now I'll put this disclaimer now for the footage. I was playing on a 100% save game which I recorded for this video, and you can find on Mystic 2 as a speedrun, but the bottom of the screen got cut off, so I'm just replaying levels on that save, which means I have access to the black suit on every level. Anyway, let's get into the story. How do I describe this story? It's a mess! VV clearly didn't put their full attention into this port story of the 3 they wrote, and it almost has nothing to do with the film it's based on, aside from sharing some villains. Anyway, the GBA story goes something like this. Spider-Man is swinging home in his 2002 costume when he sees a building explode, so he changes into his 2007 costume to check it out. Turns out Harry Osborn, the new Goblin, had set up some bombs, so we go after him and take him out in the most pathetic battle ever. We learn nothing about what Goblin was doing, aside from the fact he was just blowing things up for the sake of blowing things up. The police and ambulance arrive to take Harry, but Spidey hears a police report about a robbery from the police radio. He then swings to the scene to find Sandman escaping with money and flipping some vehicles which set a building on fire. After saving all the people from the building, Spider-Man swings away from Sandman because he's too strong for him. Spidey escapes by crossing a giant water tub which Sandman can't apparently run past by running either left or right of it. You know, just 2D logic. Spidey then swings home and goes to bed in full costume. Out of nowhere, the alien symbiote smashes through his window and bonds with Spider-Man, who clearly doesn't care too much as he just shrugs off his new costume. You take down some criminals in the new suit before heading off to the Daily Bugle. Jameson tells Peter that he's late and he sent Brock to the DA's office to get pictures on an investigation on Wilson Fisk being the Kingpin. Electro then interrupts the scene, but not before Jameson can randomly answer the phone to Mad Bomber, who informs him that he's planted bombs underneath the city, which will blow up soon, knocking down buildings. Now, why did he ring Jonah? Was he giving him a front page story? Like, that's the only reason I can think of. Anyway, moving on. You get the choice of which villain you want to tackle first, which is nice, but you really just get some boring missions before facing them. Nothing there is very interesting, aside from Electro looking nothing like his cutscene model, and his in-game sprite looks like Quicksilver with glowing eyes. After taking down Mad Bomber and Electro, Sandman returns and you take him down with water, which makes Peter think he killed him, which makes him want to get rid of the black suit. Spider-Man just so happens to land on top of the church when the bells are going off, which causes the symbiote to come straight off. The alien falls onto Brock, who we finally get to see in-game, who's praying outside of church, which is just plain weird. Then out of nowhere, when Spider-Man is just swinging, Sandman shoots Spider-Man into the air, which somehow puts him into the construction site. It turns out he isn't dead, and he tries to drown Spider-Man in sand by slowly covering the whole site. We reach the top where Spider-Man drowns him with all the sprinklers, which kills him.
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
And right after killing Flint Marko, Venom drops in and tells Spider-Man he's going to die. You fight Venom and get him to fall off the construction site, which kills Brock from the massive fall.
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
You see Venom detach from Brock and escape, with the game ending on a "the end" screen with a question mark. Without watching the movie, the game makes absolutely no sense, but even if you do watch it, it still doesn't make much sense. Even just reading over this now, I still cannot tell you what just happened. Anyway, how's the gameplay? It's alright. You jump with the A button, you punch with the B button, you shoot webs with the R button, and kick attack by holding L and pushing B. The big gimmick of this game is the black suit. You have a purple gauge that fills up when you break crates and attack enemies. When it fills, the black suit is unleashed. It refills your health to max, does double damage, and has a new web move where you pull thugs towards you. The suit is removed as soon as you take one hit from an enemy, which is really dumb. Throughout levels you can collect pickups that either make your webs last longer when wrapping up thugs, do more damage when you attack, or give you a free black suit. I found this game to be too easy with them, even on hard difficulty, and with all the health pickups around, the game was a cakewalk. It's just dull gameplay that is a major bore. The visuals for this game are bland and unappealing for a late GBA game, and in the audio department, it steals audio sound clips from Ultimate Spider-Man for when Spidey gets hit, as well as the health pickup sound. This makes no sense as he had a different voice actor in that game. The music is looped and is annoying on the ears and drove me crazy listening to it for the 6 hours I played of this game for the review. Spider-Man 3 is just a cheap cash grab on a dead system for Activision to milk all the cash they can from this dead cow. Vicarious Visions had no passion or care for this project and were just as eager for their quick paycheck by reusing as many assets as they could from the previous games, making Spider-Man 3 on GBA a bland and unoriginal mess of a game. I would only recommend you play this to experience its messy plot just to laugh at it, but otherwise, just stay away from it.